Today I'm going to take you through handstand shape transitions. So we're going to go from straight position, straddle, tuck, and diamond position. Now this can be done freestanding or it can be done against the wall, obviously depending on your level. Now we need to first make sure that we've got those positions individually and understand what needs to happen at the hip and the knees to create the positions. So first of all, let's look at the straight to straddle position. So I'm going to kick up to the wall. I'm going to have my heels against the wall. Now from there I can pull from the wall into that straight handstand, or I could just transition from the heels on the wall to heels off, butt touching. So that's what we're aiming for the straddle. It's not this. It's this piked position, and then our hips go backwards to compensate or to counteract the feet going in the opposite direction. So making that locked in straddle position there, and then when we go back up the wall, our hips open back up and our heels lightly touch the wall. So we should be able to go between those two transitions, the straight and the straddle. And then exactly the same thing when we do our tuck, starting the heels on the wall, and I'm gonna come down, point the toes, butt touches, and then I come back up again, heels touch. Now everyone's tuck position, everyone's straddle position is going to look completely different to each other's, depending on flexibility, limb length, and balance control in the handstand. So if you struggle with the straddle, if you struggle with the tuck, you need to work on that individually first. So tuck positions, you could just focus on holding this position, back to wall but lightly touching, trying to open the shoulders as much as possible. Try not to do that, try and stay in that position, which can be done up against the wall like that, or it can be done freestanding if you have it. So nice controlled straight position, close the hips and the knees at the same time, coming down to your tuck position. Again, trying to maintain that shoulder position on top of the hands, and then ideally always come back to your straight, show control, no piked hips, and come back out. Now, if you still struggle with the tuck position, I've got separate videos on that and I'll link them at the end, and I'll also stick them down in the description. With the straddle, we can also flip that around and do it chest to wall. So this position, this is good if you don't really understand the pikey hips. So feet coming forwards, we don't want to be like that. We want to be like that position there. Same with the tuck, I can do tuck against the wall. This one is really good mobility wise. So trying to line up so thighs are parallel to the floor, maintaining that shoulder position on top of the hands. Getting up to 30-second holds in a demanding position there is a great exercise. And then the one that's trained less often is our diamond position. Now this one, to get into it, we can use 2 or 3 different methods. So I can pull down into my diamond there. I could come down to tuck first and open into diamond. I could come into straddle, keep the legs in that straddle position, and you don't kick the wall, bend the knees, keep the toes pointed, toes meet, and there's the diamond again. Same options when we do it up against the wall. Be nice and close to the wall with this one, start in a tuck position or that straddle position, bend the knees, toes touch, heels don't touch, and then push the feet into the floor and bring the hips off the wall. So there's your diamond up against the wall. Then once we have some understanding, some control, and we know what it feels like to be in those 4 positions, we can start to play with the transitions between all of them. So I'd always start, or recommend you start in a straight position, and then you can go to tuck or diamond or straddle from there. Let's go straddle first. Now I'm going to diamond, and then from diamond I'm going to close in, try and keep that depth into the tuck position. I could then open into my straddle and come back to my straight. Then pull in a different variation, go down to tuck first, open to diamond, out to straddle. Reverse that back, and then back to straight again. So lots of different options. Some are going to be more challenging than others, and some are going to be different for each other. So someone might find it easier to start in straddle, someone else might find it easier to start in tuck. Exactly the same against the wall. Just try and make sure that you're not relying on the wall too much, and you're as close to the freestanding as you can with light touch, whether it's with the heels in the straight, butt in the straddle. Diamond, we want to get the feet on the wall, butt off. Then when we close into the tuck, the hips go back and touch. Then when we go back to the straight, making sure the heels are on the wall, not the butt. Now that's super fast, going through lots of different variations. For most people, there's probably months, if not years of work there involved in trying to fine tune each of the positions and be able to transition nice and slowly with control between them, especially when we're doing them freestanding. If you're after programs or coaching, check out my website, www.paultwyman.com.au, and I'll speak to you in the next one. Thanks guys.